other words, Aristotle is kind of a big deal, especially when it comes to his contributions to rhetoric. Rhetoric is the art of speaking or writing effectively and using language designed to have a persuasive effect on its audience. Aristotle divided the means of persuasion, or as he called them, appeals, into 3 categories: ethos, pathos, and logos. Pause. I want you to take notice of the fact that I just made both a Star Wars and a Star Trek reference. The nerd gods would be pleased. Ethos is the Greek word for character, and it's based on appealing with credibility, trust, and ethics. It's effective because we're more inclined to believe people we trust, we respect, and are considerate to others. So, how do we establish this trustworthy, respected, and credible reputation? Well, in ancient Greece, credibility was established by the reputation your family had in the community. If you came from a family that had a positive record of being trustworthy and honest, people would be more inclined to believe you. In today's culture, ethos can be established with titles or professions, like doctors, professors, and scientists. Those are the people we should trust. In modern society, however, sometimes we are distracted by appearance as a form of reputable source, as opposed to moral or intellectual character. We rely on what we see instead of what we hear. Like, take a look at this one. Do you really think Kim Kardashian is a fitness expert capable of understanding the construction of athletic attire that would enhance performance? Yeah, probably not. And this one, Adam Levine is not a dermatologist. How would he know how this product works? Ashton Kutcher is not a professional photographer. Why would I trust him? And what does Channing Tatum know about tots? I'm kidding, that last one was fake. It's important to know that credibility comes from what a person says and how she says it, not how they look. In order to gain credibility for your ideas and win over your audience, you need to have good sense, good moral character, and goodwill. In other words, know your stuff, be honest, and have good intentions. For example, you could reference the expertise of others, cite prior experiences to establish your knowledge on a topic, or directly reveal your intentions to your audience. Good looks and nice cars are cool, but no amount of money can buy you a good reputation. Next is pathos, the Greek word for suffering. Now I know that sounds like a downer, but bear with me. Pathos is appealing to emotions, sympathies, and imagination within your audience. It's effective because the power of emotion can sway the mind and the ways of thinking. I told you Aristotle could use the force. The goal of pathos is for the speaker or the writer to make the audience feel what the speaker or writer is feeling, which can result in calling the audience to action or decision making. We have to make the reader or the listener feel something emotional. But that happens in a few steps. First, we have to figure out what we want them to do. If we want them to evaluate something negatively, bring out the anger. If we want to gain support or compliance, try bringing out flattery. If we want them to be charitable or giving, bring out pity. But what do we do to make them feel these things? Word choice, yo! I'm sorry, I was trying to be cool. The better your audience can see the message, the better they can feel it. You want to use powerful, evocative vocabulary. Word choice is incredibly important because you are painting a vivid picture with words. For example, let's look at something happening in the colonies. The king sent ships. Yes, he did. But that doesn't really evoke any emotions. But what if I said he ravaged our shores with war vessels? Those words might bring out a little more rage in people. Beyond vocabulary, there are also emotional triggers. Memories that when mentioned can bring an emotional response, like reminiscing about a joke a friend told you could make you happy, or thinking about that time Kanye totally pulled this move at the VMAs could make you mad. But there can also be musical triggers, like this one.
In the arms of the angel, fly away from here.
I bet you wish you could have changed the channel, don't you? But with great power comes great responsibility. You have to be careful when dealing with people's emotions. Aristotle even says, as a speaker of goodwill, playing on people's emotion in ways that make them mindless of concepts and consequences can corrupt judgment of both individuals and society. And the last thing we want is a brainless society. Finally, we have logos, the Greek word for words. Logos is appealing to logic, reason, and using factual support for your claims. So why is this effective? Well, facts are good to have in your arsenal of rhetoric. Facts and logics are undisputable. When used well, arguments can be pretty airtight. Your logical argument gains strength when there is a consistency in your message, clarity of your claim, and effective use of support. So what counts as effective support? Well, using plain facts and statistics is always helpful, like this one for instance. 0.3% of all accidents in Canada involve a moose. I wish I was making that up. Also, using socially accepted definitions like this one. A large deer with palmate antlers, a sloping back, and a growth of skin hanging from its neck. That sounds disgusting. Finally, analogies are also effective. For example, the British are strong, unstoppable, and unpredictable, like a moose in the wild, and to beat them, we have to be sneaky and quick, like when you avoid a moose. Altogether, these three can be powerful weapons when fighting for freedom. Wars may be fought with muskets and swords, but they're usually started with pens and ink.